Hi, I'm Mars from StrataGames, and today we're playing some Mono White Heroic. This is a deck that got a couple trophies from Wolf777 because of a new card from Spiderman / through the Omenpaths. And I saw Kerblinski put out a video with it. I think I saw a couple other Pauper creators put out a video with it. But I only have a little bit of time, and I want to have a quick league here. So we're trying it out, and we get to play Wonder Weave Aerialist, which is the new card. 2 mana for a 2/2 with Ward 2, and it's modified, or rather it has flying as long as it is modified. The thing that I really like about this is we get to play a crazy old card that I actually had in a dual deck from like 15 years ago, which is Steel of the Godhead. As long as enchanted creature is white, it gets +1/+1 in lifelink, which is very nice for any of our creatures, but as long as the creature is blue, which our Wonder Weave Aerialist is, it will also get another +1/+1 and cannot be blocked, which can just be really, really strong. Obviously, 3 mana for this effect is a little weak if it goes on one of our mono white creatures, but on the Aerialist, I think it's going to be very strong indeed. Other than that, it's pretty standard mono white heroic with Lagana Trailblazer, or Lagana Band Trailblazer, and Deathblade Elite. We have Benevolent Blessing for protection, as well as some Emerge Unscathed. Then we have a whole bunch of auras. So we have Hyena Umbra for a little more protection, Cartouche of Solidarity, Spirit Link, Sentinel's Eyes, Ethereal Armor, and another actually new interesting one, Lightwheel Enhancements. Basically, it's a Sentinel's Eyes, +1/+1 and Vigilance, but we can cast it from our graveyard as long as we've started our engines and have max speed, which is basically if we hit our opponent 3 times after having this enter the battlefield. Other than that, we're playing a bunch of planes and a 1-of Secluded Steppe, and in our sideboard, some more protection for black and red, or for green and blue. We have a couple more Spirit Links for those red matchups, Standard Bearers, and some Thraben Charms. So let's take it for a league and see how we do. I accidentally toggled mute on my mic for a little bit of this first match, so I'm just going to commentate over it as we see. So this is our starting hand. It's obviously not going to be keepable because we have no creatures. Otherwise it seems okay, but no creatures generally means mulligan. This hand has 1 land, which is not great. We generally want 2, but Deathblade Elite is a really powerful card against the right opponents, and I'm pretty sure I remember seeing Very Red Mana is more of an Elves player, some sort of green creature deck player, so I'm going to keep it. Also, I just don't want to go down to 5. And we do see an Avacyn's Pilgrim, now not an elf, so probably more like on walls or something like that. But Deathblade Elite can be really strong there too. We draw one of the Wonder Weave Aerialists, which is, fine, but currently we can't play it. But if we could just put like a Sentinel's Eyes and then Ethereal Armor and just keep growing this Elite and just make it so it kills a creature every single turn, ideally they won't be able to keep up with that and we'll be able to run them out of spells pretty quickly, or creatures rather. We do draw the planes, which is nice, so we have 2 mana. Now we can play a Wonder Weave Aerialist if we want. That can get more damage going quicker, but we actually don't have a way to then kill any of their creatures unless I want to trade the Deathblade Elite for the Avacyn's Pilgrim, which I certainly don't. So it's kind of a question of whether I want to just suit up the Elite or get the Aerialist down, but I think it's probably better to just make the Elite bigger and start killing creatures. Now, by putting Sentinel's Eyes and Ethereal Armor, it's a 4/4, so I can't kill the Wall of Roots this turn, but I can kill the Avacyn's Pilgrim. As soon as I attacked here, I realized that the Pilgrim actually untaps with the Provoke trigger, and is forced to block, but they could actually tap it right away again, and then I wouldn't actually have to block. Unfortunately for them, they did not realize that either, so we were able to kill the Avacyn's Pilgrim, which is very, very nice for us, because if it survived, we get it for 4 damage, but they have more creatures, which is just bad. So they play a Forest and tap for 3, and slam a Lead the Stampede, which could be pretty good for them, but it looks like they're not going to have too many creatures on the field, so I might be able to kill this Wall of Roots. And they turn up just a Secret Door, which is absolutely brutal. Not only is it 3 mana to draw 1 card, which is terrible, but also it's a blue spell that they can't even cast. So it's really bad, especially because they know, assuming I play any aura at all here, I'm going to be able to kill the Wall of Roots. So I certainly am going to play a Sentinel's Eyes to do just that. Killing the Wall of Roots is going to be really good here. And we actually draw Deathblade Elite, which is not only good because it's something else we can play for 1 mana, but also it's just another creature that can force their other creatures to block. If we're able to put something on it to make it even a 2/2, we can maybe eat any more of those Avacyn's Pilgrims or anything like that they have. They play a Winding Way and turn up 2 Forests, a Freed from the Real, and an Axebane Guardian. Another 1/1, and that's just brutal. They just concede right there, understandably, because not only are they just absolutely losing, they had some very bad runs with their card draw. So for our sideboard, we're taking a look here, and we don't necessarily have the best sideboard against them. Standard Bearer is a card that can make it so they're freed from the reel, has to target the bearer, which is a way to remove their combo from happening. We are a pretty fast deck, but their combo also can be faster than us sometimes. Spirit Link gains us life, which is totally irrelevant against their combo, so we can just easily take those out. And Shield of Duty and Reason can make it so that we have protection from green, which is the majority of their creatures, and blue, which is actually most of their other creatures, making it so that we get just unblockable for 1 mana, which can be really nice. Obviously, if we're using Deathblade Elite to try to kill all of their creatures, then that's not going to combo with the protection, because they will actually not be able to block. It's a cheaper way to basically get Benevolent Blessing, make it so they can't block, and they're really not going to have removal anyway, probably, unless they bring some in from the sideboard. So the Blessing for protection is not super relevant. So we're going to swap those out, Spirit Links and Blessings, for the Standard Bearers and the Shield of Duty and Reason, and that just seems pretty good to me. And here, we open up, we do have a Wonder Weave Aerialist, so it's a creature, but Light Wheel enhancements can pump it up, so it makes it a 3/3 Vigilance Flying. But 2 Emerge Unscathed, we just don't really have the damage to race them in any way here. That's like a 7-turn clock after turn 3, which is just not going to happen. So we're going to put that one away. And then we get a very expensive hand. We don't have that many 2-drops, or especially 3-drops, and 1 land is not going to cut it. So we're going to have to go down to 5. Opponent keeps a 7. And then we get 5 lands, Cartouche and Steal the Godhead. That's not going to cut it either. We're going to go down to 4 here. Unfortunately, but we could get the perfect 4 and might be okay. And this one's not bad. Deathblade is, of course, really good. We got to get rid of the Emerge, 1 Trailblazer, and I think we just got to go all in on one of our creatures. Might as well be the Deathblade Elite since it can kill their creatures. Lagana Band gets bigger quicker, so maybe that's the one I should have actually picked. But I feel like if I can kill some of their creatures, maybe we can survive a little bit. We draw a Standard Bearer, which is not terrible. I can break up their combo, like I mentioned, but it's certainly not the aggression or the pumping of the Deathblade that we really need. Seeing as they have an 0-3 here, and now an 0-4, Deathblade currently is only going to be a 2-2 with the Cartouche, so we need to draw something to be able to actually kill one of their creatures, and we get a Plains. That's not really going to cut it, so there's no reason to really put the Cartouche on there. We might as well just play the Standard Bearer and pass to them. Maybe, if they're slow, although they're already looking a bit fast, we can suit up the Elite and start killing creatures, but also every single time one of these tappers loses Summoning Sickness, as mentioned, they could re-tap if our opponent knows that. Tinderwall is going to give a little bit of boost mana for the Overgrown Battlement, and they play a Shield Wall Sentinel right away, tutoring up an Axebane Guardian, and they just crack the Tinderwall for it right away. So a ton of mana, and we find another Plains. Cartouche can't kill any of their creatures still. Feeling pretty hopeless here, but I guess we'll give it 1 more turn, see if they can just combo off. And they lead the Stampede, which is a nice sign for them, assuming they don't whiff like they did last time. And Overgrown Battlement and Secret Door, honestly, 2 cards that are not too bad here. Tons of mana they can make, and then the Secret Door can just make it so that they have an outlet for that mana. If nothing else, they can start venturing through the dungeon, which isn't the best thing ever, but it's still not bad. And it's an outlet for, of course, infinite mana, as is Beast Rider Vanguard, which can just draw them new cards. And so this one is looking pretty over to me. All right, well, I accidentally was not recording audio for all of that, so that's great. But now we have audio, and just know that we died, so it's okay. I accidentally muted myself because I'm a goof. All right, we'll try once more. We have just a Standard Bearer and 1 land, not going to cut it. Here we have 2 lands. Obviously, Deathblade is our ideal, but Lagana Band in a lot of ways to target it. We're definitely keeping this one. We don't need Lifelink, and this only gives +1/+1 to this for 3 mana, so I think we get rid of Steal. They're on a mulligan to 5, 4, doing what we did last time. So that should help us out a little bit, but we'll still see. It's going to be a race to whatever we can do. They have a Caretaker. We have enhancements, so either this or Sentinel's Eyes that we play only gives this +2/+2. So for that reason, I might as well just play Shield of Duty and Reason to get in for 1 damage, because it'll have protection from blue and green. So we get in for a 1 and we pass. They have nothing on 2, which is very good for us. Another Trailblazer, but I think we're just going all in on this one. So we give it double vigilance and make it 5 power. And we start our engines. Hit them and get a trigger here. Emerge Unscathed can just give this another counter. So we can hit for 6 in the following turn 7. So we need 1 more way to pump it to give them only a 2-turn clock. And they find a Tinderwall and a Guardian. That's pretty good. I don't think we're going to be dead this turn unless they draw perfectly, but we definitely need something to increase this clock a little bit. Well, I will play a Trailblazer, attack, and we will give this protection from green again, just for a little extra damage. So yeah, it's 7 damage. I could also target the other Trailblazer. That really won't make any difference. It'll be the same amount of damage. So we need something to target one of these to be able to win next turn. Also, they just have a Drift of Phantasms. which means they get freed from the reel, which is infinite mana. So if they just have an outlet in hand, then I guess they win. And they have a Winding Way. They turn over an Orochi Leaf Caller and an Axebane Guardian, which is not going to win them the game. They are able to play those out, but nothing else, which means we are going to take the game. I was very concerned there, of course, with them getting... Well, then again, I still need to... I'm getting ahead of myself. I still need to hit a... They said GG, so I was thinking GG, but we still need to actually hit another spell. And we don't, with the Deathblade Elite, so they get one more draw. Well, we see what the next card is, and it's an Avacyn's Pilgrim. Alright, so we will take the game after all, because they don't have an outlet, and now we have 2 lethal attackers, although this one doesn't... It's blockable, so it's, you know. Anyway, we get in for lethal, and we take the match. Alright, we're on the draw here with no creature, not really the most explosive auras anyway. Here we do have a couple good ones. I think I can put back a Plains. It's not too greedy, since we have 2. And this allows me to keep the Elite if we're against a creature matchup, or the Trailblazer otherwise. We're against White Weenie, it looks like. So I think we go with the Trailblazer. Benevolent Blessing does not remove other auras and equipment that are already attached to the creature if we choose white, which is nice. However, it will prevent us from casting other things on it. So we need to make sure it's big enough to be able to win the game before we cast a Blessing on it. They do Informant Away and Novice Inspector. Another Deathblade Elite. So... for that reason, I'd probably just armor. If I armor, they could play another creature and then Thraben Charm it down. I think I'm just going to play 2 Deathblade Elites here. This allows us to, if we want, like if I get another reason to go on the Elites, I could pivot and just start attacking their creatures. And just making this a 2/6 with the armor just doesn't feel great. And they Thraben Charm it right now, so... maybe they didn't have the creature for it, but it's not the end of the world. They will swing, so I'll take 4. But they don't have that most creatures. We get another Trailblazer, so I could just armor onto one of these, attack, and I get to eat an Informant. When they don't have that many creatures, it probably means they have like Battle Screech. Then I get to eat some of their guys. It's probably better than just going on this 2/6 again. I think we'll do it. I guess this is still loses to a Thraben Charm, but I can hold up Blessing here, which is probably the move. So we'll attack. This one's gonna make this block. This one is gonna target this guy, but it's not gonna untap it because it's a May. So this is a no. This is a yes because this has first strike because of the armor. So I would like to eat your 3/2. So I will do so, and then I'll pass. I will say the Blessing on one of our Deathblade Elites, as I was saying in the previous match, makes it so that they can't actually block our creatures anymore. So Blessing on the Elite is kind of counterproductive, but I could just throw it on there. I could throw it on either one, but I don't think it really gives us much. Immersion Scathe, I guess it's that same just protection. I think I would trade this Elite for a bird, so I might as well just force them to do it, because giving them fewer options is good, and we're just not going to go all in on this Elite. And it's not going to do much else. I mean, I don't have to go all in. I could just throw, like, an aura on it. I could also just give it protection from white now, which keeps it alive. I guess I could just Emerge Unscathed it to give it protection that keeps it alive. Yeah, I guess just killing birds is decent. Sure, let's keep it alive here. Protection from white, so we get to eat both their guys. Play out a Trailblazer, pass. I don't know, this is kind of a weird matchup, but also just weird how it's playing out. They have an Inspector and no attacks. So they could now have, like, a Prismatic Strands or... Guardian's Pledge, either of which could be kind of awkward. We're just going to cast this on this because it gets us a counter. Protection from white, obviously. Cartouche of Solidarity. It does give first strike, so I could throw that on here. Then this is a 3/3, so it's going to survive a Guardian's Pledge unless they block it with 2 guys. And then this is a 2/2. I make them block with one of these. Then I have a Blessing to protect one of them. Or I could just go all in on this. It becomes a 4/4. This is a combat trick, makes it a 5/5. I guess if they block. I think I just throw it on this guy. Try to make him block with 2 different guys. And then we have a Blessing to protect one of them. I guess we'll just eat the guys on the ground because they have more toughness, and right now we don't really care about the flying. So we'll say yes to both of these. They block 1 here and 2 on this guy. Currently he's eating them both, so I'm sure there's something. Guardian's Pledge, probably. Okay, so Guardian's Pledge makes it so that if I give this protection from white, it's going to survive, not eat this guy, but this will get +1/+1, so it'll be a 4/4, so I can eat one and still survive. So I can keep both of my guys alive by giving this protection from white. So let's do that. I will eat the Inspector. All right, so I ate one of their guys, and I also made him use a Guardian's Pledge, which was pretty good for us. Now we have this guy who's just unblockable 2/2 every turn. They crack 2 clues, and we just get a plains, but we can force the inspector to jump here so we can attack both of these, attack with this for 2. They concede. We were in a pretty good spot, but to be honest, it was going to take us a little while to get there, so that's fair. I think Spirit Link seems good. If we get in kind of a racing situation, gaining a lot of life could be decent. All the protection stuff's good, although none of these additional protection spells do protection from white, so Blessing and Emergent Scathe is all we got for those. Thraben Charm just kills 1 guy. It gets rid of Prismatic Strands from the graveyard, actually, which could be pretty bad. Standard Bearer just prevents them from, like, blowing up our guy with a Thraben Charm. I don't think that's really worth it. Vigilance seems good. I don't want to take those out. Emergent Scathe is nice because they have some removal and it can make us unblockable, but to make us unblockable we have to lose all of our auras on it, so I actually think these are probably cuttable. The Blessings at least leave all the auras that are previously on there, so I think maybe I cut those and do like maybe 3 and 3 Spirit Links and Thraben for Prismatic Strands and just racing them. This is again too creature heavy. It feels like so many of our spells pump these, so it might just be a decent keep. I guess we'll try it. It feels like we have no real gas, but most of our deck is good draws, so here's hoping. That's a plains. If I Deathblade Elite, they could just like Thraben Charm it. That's fine. Again, Lagana Band Trailblazer doesn't do anything right now, and at least the Deathblade Elite, if it doesn't die and I get something, could like start eating creatures. And if they just want to kill it, that's not a big deal to me. Steel of the Godhead is not bad. I mean, it's +1/+1 and lifelink for either of these, so it's not amazing either, but we'll run a couple more guys out. Have not seen Wonderweave Aerialist at all, at least not when we can cast it. I think we saw it in 1 game. Ethereal Armor is decent. They have a Standard Bearer. Right. Standard Bearer is meant to be brought in against their Standard Bearers, because I cannot target our own stuff. However, Deathblade Elite can just kill the Standard Bearer here, so I probably have to do that, because otherwise I have to target this. Okay, yeah, we were supposed to bring in Standard Bearers here. Luckily, unless they have a way to protect it, Deathblade should ameliorate the situation. Must block. I mean, I have to trade these, so it's not my favorite thing to do, but I simply must trade that off. And then I think I could play Armor. That's kind of awkward. If they have another Standard Bearer, I want to play Armor and then hold up Blessing to do in response, so I at least have like a 4/4 that can attack in, but then can never go on the guy. I could just steal, but then it's worse if they do have that. I think we gotta just steal here and hope they don't have another Standard Bearer. If they do, I have to find another one of my 2 Deathblade Elites. Informant. Oh, Journey to Nowhere. Well, that's another reason Benevolent Blessing would have been the right call. I was just playing around Thraben Charm because I knew they couldn't. I mean, they could have played 2 creatures for 1 mana and a Thraben Charm, but that would have been all their cards. The Journey probably coming in from the sideboard was not expected. So yeah, haven't played this one perfectly. Definitely sideboarded wrong, just since I'm not as super familiar with this deck. Standard Bearers will be coming in for game 3. I mean, if we get a creature off the top here, we could still win this one. But if we don't, obviously it's not going to matter. There's a Hyena Umbra. I'll give it another turn. They swing for 6. Skyfisher picks up an Inspector to draw a card. Replay. All right, another Umbra. We are going to die. So 4 Standard Bears should be coming in. I guess I kind of like the Thraben Charms a little more because of their Journey to Nowhere, but honestly, if Journey goes off at all, it's pretty bad. So maybe I'm supposed to fight through Prismatic Strands and cut these. And the Spirit Links aren't insane here. Like, against red, we just win with them. So maybe these ones that I was like on the fence about, maybe I just cut these. I think Spirit Link is a way to survive through our Prismatic Strands though, because we could just gain enough life. Like, I guess they prevent the damage, so maybe that's a silly way to say it. But if we gain enough life before the Prismatic, then keeping them alive for a turn won't be the end of the world. I don't know. We'll do this and 4 Standard Bearers to help a little bit. I guess Thraben Charm's also a way to kill a Standard Bearer. I don't really know the sideboard in this matchup. It's a weird one. No lands, unfortunately. 1 land and a Trailblazer and a lot of amazing cards. I think we got to keep this one and get rid of 1 Hyena Umbra. I mean, we die to a Journey to Nowhere, but I guess we bank on that not being the case a little bit with this Aerialist. We play a tap land. We get a Steel of the Godhead. Hyena Umbra protects a little bit better, not against Journey, but it does just as much as Ethereal Armor right now. And there's the Journey to Nowhere. Yeah, and now we're pretty much dead in the water. There's an Inspector. Plains would be good anytime. Crack a clue. Swing for 1. And Darval. Ooh. Bring back the Inspector. Get another clue and plays a 3/3. Idyllic Range to pump this up as well. No plains. No problem. Except big problem. Crack a clue. We have maybe 2 more turns. I mean, before we're actually dead, it's going to be a couple turns, but like before it's something I can't come back from, pretty close this turn. If we get the planes this turn, we can play Wonder Weave, assuming it doesn't die. Spirit Link. All right, we are gonna lose, unfortunately. All right, round 3 here. Again, a little heavy on creatures, but we have some things to play with them. Definitely seems like a keepable hand. Against Tron, we're definitely just going as fast as we can. So I'm gonna play Trailblazer. I would love an Ethereal Armor or something, because +1/+1's not gonna cut it for the long term. I guess we'll Hyena Umbra just in case they have a way to kill it. If it's Flickertron, they certainly could. Attack for 2 and pass. Conduit Pylons is a nice thing to see. No natural Tron. And just Eviscerate just inside the Prism away. There's the map. Okay. Blessing. I guess we just go Sentinel's Eyes Light Wheel for +4. We attack for 6. Otherwise, I could like play this, but yeah, we're just going for speed. So swing for it. Speaking of, let's get to top speed, or max speed rather. Got to keep the branding right. Crack their map. Ashnod's Altar. Okay, so it's Ultratron. There's a Retriever. Blessing cannot give protection from colorless. Spirit Link doesn't gain us life through this guy. Deathblade Elite can get us around it for a turn or more. So I think we play this. I'm just assuming, like, envisioning if they keep playing these guys. I might need another Elite for something. They don't block. Well, that scares me more than them blocking. That kind of just tells me they have the combo, but I can't do anything about that, so let's just play this and pass. Sack the Retriever for a Prism. Play a Mere Kinsmith, which finds another Retriever. There's the Pact Altair, and they have a Retriever in hand, so that's going to kill us. If we had more than just auras giving +1/+1, could have been decent. I guess the only ones that give more than +1/+1 are the Ethereal Armors. I guess Thraben Charm's the only thing we kind of have. Gets rid of blockers or stops them from comboing. Life gain feels irrelevant. Obviously, they could win just naturally, but it's mostly the combo, so I think that just doesn't seem worth it. Blessing, a lot of their stuff's colorless. They do have Pack Dolls. They might have some removal from the sideboard. We still have Emerge Unscathed and a couple Blessings, so I think that's probably fine. All right, here we actually have an Aerialist start. And it seems pretty decent. I mean, it's nothing till turn 2. Obviously, it's a 2-drop, so we know that. But then we get the steal on it right away. Lifelink, again, not super relevant, but unblockable, very nice. And then we get a couple enhancements. Seems okay. They start with a Swamp, which is obviously nice for us, and a Pylons, so a few turns away from Tron. Merge Unscathed. Okay, so Steal, Lifelink I'm saying is Lifelink is not necessary, so Steal gives just as much buff as 2 Light Wheel enhancements. And I'd rather hold up Emerge Unscathed in case they do have removal, so let's just do that. They have a Candy Trail, Gry 1 to the top, play a Tower, and a Prism. Another Wonder Weave. Well, let's just put this up here and attack for 6, and pass to them. Another Candy Trail. I mean, those can add a whole turn to our clock, because currently we have 6 damage, and then we play another Wonder Weave, we have 8 damage. So that gets through 1 Candy Trail, but the second could add a turn, unless we find like the right card. Inside a Star Away. And a Trailblazer. That's not going to do too much. Attack for 6. Now we have max speed. Anyway, here's Wonder Weave. Another Candy Trail. Okay. So they could be at 13. I guess that's still just 2 turns. Crack one of them. I guess they don't have the mana to crack another one, unless they have an untapped land here, which most of their lands are untapped, but they haven't played anything yet. Okay, there it is. Crack another one. All right. Ethereal Armor off the top. Actually, wait. I don't need Ethereal Armor. I can just Emerge Unscathe this Lagana Band to get a +1/+1 counter, and then Rebound, it'll get another +1/+1 counter, and that'll be 10 damage. Let's actually play our cards properly, and it can win us the game. And who knows what we were going to draw, but we were able to get there. And let's try again. And that's why I favored taking out the Blessings over the Emerge Unscathed, was because I can get 2 counters on the Trailblazer, and it's 1 mana. We have a Thraben Charm here, but no creature. I don't think it's going to be keepable. We have a Deathblade Elite. That's the worst one, but we do have Armor, which is pretty key. I think we're going to keep this one and get rid of the Blessing, because we have some ways to make it pretty big. Plus we have a Thraben Charm to interact if we get another land. Okay, Trailblazer's way better. That was a decent draw. Of course, now I would like to draw planes. Double map, and they're on power plants. No planes. Might as well start with a Hyena Umbra. Swing. Crack a map. Play that. Another Umbra. Well, now Armor does an extra damage, so let's do that. Attack for 5. I mean, this is a pretty fast clock even on 1 mana, but we could have them dead next turn if we'd already drawn a plains. Now, even if we do, it'll be what? +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll be 11 plus a candy trail. That's not going to do it. Mere Retriever also throws a wrench in this, obviously. And an Astronaut's Altar. Ugh. Well, I guess we're playing Deathblade Elite because it can maybe make the Retriever block. If they have another one, they block and sack, and then they can crack their candy trail. Or I could just go more in on this. I think we gotta get the Elite down in case it needs to start forcing things to block it. Golden Foundry, so that's just one Retriever away from lethal. Kinsmith finds one, and then they have it. They make a million guys, and we're dead. All right, we're against Ganja Django, which they always play Elves, I believe. So as long as we have... this is a pretty okay start against not Elves. It's not going to cut it here, but if we get a Deathblade Elite and can suit it up, this hand has Deathblade, but it has so many creatures. I think we got to keep this one, though. We just need some way to buff up the Elite, and we'll be okay. We can get rid of an Aerialist here. I mean, I guess if we draw nothing, we can play Elite and then attack, make him block, and then emerge unscathed to keep our guy alive against their 1/1s, but... not the best play. And then when it rebounds, it'll be before attackers and blockers, so it won't allow us to do that for the second one. But I am just going to put it down first. And honestly, playing this might just prevent them from playing a guy right away. I don't know if that's how they'd want to play it, but it is a possibility. Ethereal Armor is nice. So I could throw that on here, but seeing as they didn't play anything, I think we just keep our options open and play the Trailblazer. Because I could go in on this to make it a Abyss. They have to lose a creature every turn. Or I could go in on the Trailblazer and just have the Elite be a distraction so they can't block the Trailblazer. Probably going to be better to go in on the Elite, but we will see. There's 2 Elves this time and a Plains. So yeah, I think we just armor onto the Elite, play an Aerialist. I think so. I think it's got to be best to just kill off the Elves. Yes, please block. And of course, doing it when they can't tap is important. Play a Wonder Weave, Aerialist. They Winding Way, find 4 creatures, including Colossal Badger, which choose a creature, mill 4 cards, and put a +1/+1 counter on that creature for each creature milled this way. Very interesting. And then played 2 Llanowar Elves, Hyena Umbra. So I think we just put this on the Trailblazer, and then attack with everything. Force an elf to block. They lose 1 elf, take 4, pass. We could be too slow here, only eating 1 guy a turn while they're making 2. I mean, they could play a Generous Ent or a Badger this turn if they have another land. Cycle the Ent. Okay. Play a Timberwatch Elf and pass. Badger, this is a sorcery, so they should not be able to keep the Timberwatch alive. Ooh, Steal the Godhead on this. Attack for 6, make this block. I don't know why they would play this, just because they have to play something. I'm trying to think if they could have a way to get around this, but I don't think so. I don't know. I'm just putting this over here and going all in. If I didn't draw the 3-drop, I would be able to hold up Emerge Unscathed, which could at least protect this if they did have something wonky. But as is, I think it's probably better to play the Steal. Although anytime I see just 1 strange card in a list, they said they're cooking something up. It means that there could be a lot of other cards, but okay, they just concede there. It looks like we're good then. Well, Standard Bearer is something pretty decent against Elves in general. I'm not sure it's what we want here, but it can slow them down. Thraben Charm's removal, not really what we want either. Protection, Benevolent Blessing is not going to be as effective as Shield of Duty and Reason. I think some Spirit Links are not bad. I think Emerge Unscathed is just not super necessary. We don't really want or care about the protection as much as just like making them block. Maybe I don't even care about these at all and I just bring in like Thraben Charms to slow them down. I don't know if that seems very good, to be honest. Maybe having a couple against the Nyxborn's decent, and maybe we do get Shield of Duty and Reason. That's probably better. I guess just having a blocker if they get their guys too big. All right, we'll keep some of the protection. I don't know. Blade's great, but we don't have any lands, so this one, I mean, it's probably just not good enough in this matchup, even though it's a very solid hand otherwise. They mulligan to 5, though. I think for that reason, we're going to keep and try to just do our own thing, but we could definitely just get stomped by even a reasonable, just a medium Elves hand. All right, they play a Mystic, and we get the Aerialist. They have a Lead the Stampede. All right, try to get out of that mulligan. They do with 2 Priests of Titania and an Elvish Mystic. So I could play a Wonder Weave, attack for 0, or I could just start suiting this up. Hidden for 4. 4 is a lot. It might be better to go on multiple creatures, though. Yeah, I think against my better judgment, maybe I'm going to play the Wonder Weave. They play a Priest. And a Mystic. There's my Deathblade Elite. A little too late. I mean, I'm still going to play it, I think. But they're already going to have a bunch of mana and everything. Let's play Sentinel's Eyes. Attack for 4. Play the Deathblade, Well-Wisher, and a Generous Ent. Okay, so I could force the Well-Wisher to trade here, or I could like put a Hyena Umbra on it so it survives. They could block it with the Generous Ent. We got to kill the Well-Wisher, I think. Plus we can at the cost of one of these. So I think we'll do this and just Cartouche. This gets flying, but this has reach, so I'm just going on the Trailblazer, and I'll attack with these 3. If they want to block this over killing the Elite, or rather, getting a Hyena Umbra off the Elite, I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think it's fine. Make the Well-Wisher block. Yeah, they do double block the Elite. That's what I expected. We get to kill the Well-Wisher. This will lose a Hyena Umbra, but we get in for 6. Pass to them. Winding Way finds a Timberwatch and an Evolution Witness. Okay, so that comes with the Badger a little bit, I think. Play a Findhorn, Timberwatch, and a Priest. Another Wonderweave. So I throw another Hyena Umbra on this, and I can kill the Timberwatch. They have so much mana that I don't think it matters. I guess whatever I kill, they can get back with an Evolution Witness, but that's gonna be how it goes. Oh yeah, Hyena Umbra on this, and then enhancements on... This guy gets chumped. Could do this. They block here. This guy doesn't lose his Hyena Umbra. I guess we'll do that. Attack with the team. Provoke the Timberwatch. Alright, they block like so. Lose a guy here, eat this guy, and then I lose my guy here. I do hit them for 1 with the Warrior token, so boom, my max speed goes up. Feels like we're probably just going to run out of stuff pretty quick here, but maybe not. Evolution Witness. I guess if we can just find pro green and they whiff for a couple turns, this could just be big enough to win. Play another Evolution Witness. Adapt one of them. Bring back the Timberwatch Elf. Play that. Masked Vandal. Okay. Gets rid of a Hyena Umbra. But they're out of cards. Spirit Link. That's not really going to do it. Put this on here. Makes a 5/9. They can block. And then this is going to survive because this can't be big enough. I think we're just going to concede that one. They didn't have the best ever, but they just flooded the board and we didn't have quite enough. Maybe I would want some way to break through after all that. It's just, I don't know. I guess Spirit Link does not help us race, and we're trying to just go faster. Let's just do a couple of those then. On the play, Deathblade, Sentinel's Eyes. I mean, turn 1 Deathblade with any way to pump it seems decent here, as always. That's about it, otherwise the hand is not the most exciting. Although Standard Bearer does prevent Quirion Ranger from untapping things, Timberwatch from targeting their creatures, or Nyxborn Hydra from being bestowed. All of that with the caveat that Masked Vandal can in fact be targeted because it is a flag bearer. Opponent says this card is OP. And I agree, in this match it certainly is. I think we'll just attack for 1 and play a Standard Bearer. Or do I just want a Trailblazer? Probably just the Trailblazer. You can start growing. They can maybe throw a couple guys out and I can eat one of them. Generally the way to go. Priest of Titania. Well, I'm definitely going to eat that. Okay, and I get down Wonderweave. So we'll Sentinel's Eyes on the Deathblade. Attack, force the block, play the Aerialist. Evolution Witness. Well, these would trade if I want to force that block. I could just put Steal the Godhead on this. We're wasting a little bit of power here, but I think being able to eat this before I can get value is pretty good. So let's just do that. Not to mention if they have any other witnesses or 2 power creatures, having this be a 3/3 is pretty good. Or if they just have 2 creatures that they could double block with or whatever. The bigger it is, the better. There's a Mystic and a Ranger, which they use right away, just to bounce a land though. And then a Priest of Titania. Okay. Another Steal of the Godhead. Well, I think I attack. If they want to trade all 3 of these for this, I think I'm okay with that. I'm going to force the Priest to block because then I'm going to play the Standard Bearer for the Quirion anyway. Blocks with the Priest. Then I'll play my Standard Bearer and my Trailblazer. Pass the turn. There's a Well-Wisher and another Well-Wisher. Can't kill them both. They untap my Standard Bearer so they can play another Quirion Ranger. Alright. Another Deathblade Elite. Probably better to just play another one than even to play the Steal here. So let's just attack. Do I even care about the Standard Bearer? Yeah, I think we probably do want to keep it around. Let's make 1 Well-Wisher block and play another Evolution Witness, which I believe they could activate if they bounce and tap the Mystic. Yeah, untap the Standard Bearer, play the Forest again. That's 2 mana for the Witness. Of course, they don't have to activate it now, so they won't. Activate in our upkeep, fair enough. Get back at the other Evolution Witness, okay. Cartouche of Solidarity gives first strike. Probably just play Steal the Godhead because it's more expensive. On the Elite, force this to block here, this to block here. Then I guess these trade, which I don't really like. These dying is bad for me. So I guess Because they can just keep cycling the witnesses. Unless I kill the Mystic. But I can't kill the Mystic because they can just tap it again. I think we need the Cartouche, unfortunately. So Steel's just sitting around here. But I'm going to play this. First strike, I guess. What good does that do? I guess killing the Quarian Rangers prevents them from the extra mana. Well-Wisher, they can just tap, so I actually can't kill the Well-Wisher here. So it's Witness or a Ranger, and I can't really go all in on something because then they're just gaining life. So yeah, it's got to be the Solidarity on the bigger guy, and it's got to be start picking off the Rangers, I think, to limit their mana. Oh, I can make this block here though, and I can just prevent damage to this, which allows me to attack in for a little bit more. This one forces this one forces this one. Yes to both. They gain 5 here, block them both. We will activate to keep our Deathblade alive, hit for 2, and we'll pass. This is becoming a bit more of a slugfest than I wanted. With the Well-Wisher and the Quarian, even though like we're hampering them quite nicely, but the evolution witnesses are being kind of annoying, to be honest. They untap, replay the forest. Ethereal Armor is a great draw. That gives +4. I guess I just put that on my Deathblade Elite. Now I can eat 2 things every turn. I think that makes sense. So probably want to kill these at the same time. I guess killing Quarian cuts them off mana. I probably want to kill that. So I force this and this to block. We're going to activate so it doesn't matter, which means this can get in, this guy can get in. So the 5/5 forces this witness to block. I don't want this witness to die, and then they can activate this. So we want this one to go, and the Ranger. They block both of those, adapts the witness to get back the other Well-Wisher. They Well-Wish to gain 5. They take 3 here, and we pass. I mean, I still think we're winning this one, but it's not like we're actually able to win very quickly. They did say GG though. Okay. Yeah, we were pretty oppressive, so it was going to go on probably a little longer, but we were able to take it in the end. All right. I guess this one's okay. We have a lot of protection for Deathblade Elite, which as we know could be either really good or not that good, but we have Sentinel's Eyes and Armor, Ethereal Armor being one of the best, well, being the best aura to put on a creature. I guess we'll give it a try, hope we get another land, and hope we're against an opponents where Deathblade's really good. But Jund is not going to be one of them, nor is Grixis. And a third Emergent Scathed, not quite what we wanted. They play a Wellspring and another Ethereal Armor. Well, I guess we're just suiting this up and attacking. They have Wildfire, and we don't get a Plains, so Armor brings us to 4. Chrysalis is kind of insanely good. We can't gain protection from it. I guess we will grow this a little bit and attack. I can force the Chrysalis to block, which is decent. They tried not blocking, and that's not allowed. So we'll eat Chrysalis and just leave up Emerge Unscathed for a cast down. If they have another Chrysalis, I feel like the time it'll take us to get through 5 bodies is probably going to just be game over. If they don't, maybe we'll be okay. Because like Refurb, we can gain protection from pretty easily. They have Munitions and Bog and another Deathblade Elite, which does not look very good against the Munitions, so we'll just have to keep attacking with this. As much as we'd like them to not block, they have the option to, so we might as well remove the ability for them to choose and just force them to block. And I also, by doing this, make it so that they could block with the Refurb, but they also have to block with the spawn. So once I've gotten through the spawns, then I can get protection from black and get in. So again, if we don't hit another Chrysalis, we might be okay. They do draw 3 here though, which is pretty good. And I guess I could just Blessing onto this for black right now while they're tapped out. They could be playing a version with Galvanic Blasts, which would make that unfortunate, because 1 blast plus Munitions would kill us. Theoretically, they could also just throw 7 things at this, but that wouldn't be the best thing. I guess we just Armor, because we're hoping that 1 Emergent Scathed protects it anyway, and then we're hoping to one-shot them after we've gotten through these spawns. A Spell Bomb and an Offering. And they pass. We get a Plains. I guess that lets us hold up 2 of these at the same time. So we will eat the spawn. And Blessing does not quite give us lethal. It pumps us to 13. So I guess if we use that, we have to find another aura of any kind to be able to get in for lethal next turn. They're going to cycle a landscape here, so I'm going to take this opportunity to give this pro black now that we're big enough that it's going to be really hard for them to Galvanic Blast it, and even if they do, we have an Emergent Scathe. So this is also obviously just the color we want to get around the Refurb, though the fact that we do that before their turn means they know that, but I think that was just the safest way to do it. Blood Fountain can get back Chrysalis, but not this turn. or rather it can't be cast this turn. Infiltrator also is black, so that's fine, as is that one. Okay, if they don't have anything here, map onto the refurb. We just need to find anything that pumps this by 1 power, at least. Another Infiltrator on top doesn't really help them. Puts that in the graveyard. Attack for 3, and here's open. We get a Wonderweave Aerialist. That does not help. I guess there's a world where maybe we can block one of these and survive. Like the Deft Blade doesn't do much, but this at least has Ward 2, so it's really hard for them to munitions down. If they have a cast down or something, we at least have an Emergence Scathe, because I can't use this to actually make one of these block either, because it has pro black, so it's not able to block. Oh look, we get some more speed. So yeah, if we can survive here, maybe we'll be okay. But otherwise, they have munitions to sack a million things, and these guys both grow. I guess actually, even if I block one of these, I probably... Oh, this does have Vigilance. I forgot about that. That's very good. So I have 2 blockers. So even if this blocks 1, they kill this, it's going to be hard. I don't know. We will see. Krark is going to be able to kill this through other stuff. Also, if they can, well, if they have Death Touch for this, then it's going to wipe their own board, so I just have to hope that doesn't happen, because this, but I think I need this blocker, right? Because if they just throw like 6 artifacts and stuff at us, this becomes a 10 power creature, one of them gets in, this is dead, yeah, we'll die. So I'm going to Emergence Scathe this before they can sacrifice anything to it. To give pro red. I don't care about pro black. I can chump these just fine. I just want it to not die to the Krark. And if they have a cast down or something, then at least they have to use 4 mana for that. Although I guess this can sack artifacts for free. So if this dies, we'll probably lose. Map onto the refurb. And they show a cast down. So they can get that by cracking this blood, if not something else. Draw 2, grow these, cast down for 4 mana to kill this, 10, plus a bunch of artifacts, that's probably lethal. Map once again onto the familiar, this time finding a bridge. Wait, they have, if I block one of these, they need 6 more damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They only have 5 artifacts except for this, so they can't sack that. I think I might survive at 1 here. And if their goal is to block this with the red Krark clan, that's not going to work because I have an Emergence Scathe in hand, but also coming off rebound. But unless I did my math wrong, I'm pretty sure this is 1 short of lethal. So they hit for 16, and I'm at 1. Unless they haven't played a land that I forgot about and they have an untapped one. No, alright, we got the game. Really close. Crazy that we won that one when we had 1 land for a while, and the Death Blade is definitely the worst one against their deck. Mask of Law and Grace, black and red are some of their creature colors, but also their main removal colors, so those are good. I think everything else is irrelevant. I don't think life gain is what we need to be, so I think Spirit Link goes away. And I think protection is the name of the game, so I think I want to keep every single one of those. I think maybe just cut like a cartouche. Perfect hand. Just kidding. This one's pretty good. We have Lagana into unblockable, or rather protection from the main colors. I guess we probably don't need double protection. I probably just wait until turn 2 to play the Trailblazer, because if they just cast it down right now, it's pretty bad. I obviously waste, 3 damage? It's kind of bad, but if we lose this, we just lose the game. So let's try to play around it. It's going to be tough, though, if they leave up 2 mana, because then I can't really play it at all, but they have so many 2-drops they're going to want to play like this that I think that's unlikely. Ethereal Armor is a great draw. Of course, we're starting with protection. So they can still block it with Chrysalis, Spawn, and if they play Hydra, although usually they don't if they're playing Gixian. Wellspring and a Gixian Infiltrator. Luckily, we can also gain Vigilance here. Might as well do the enhancements so that we can get our speed going. Hit for 7. Fanatical Offering, the Wellspring. So no Chrysalis this turn. They have a 2-mana refurb. Sentinel's Eyes is the one that comes back from graveyard, but we don't actually have a way to bring it back, and it's a cheap one we can cast. Steal the Godhead gives +1/+1 and lifelink, but honestly, lifelink could be really good here, because that's kind of the way that they can win, is to get around us. We already have protection from the main 2 colors, if not the only 2, so I think we just get rid of a Blessing. Deathblade Elite. I can play that in Sentinel's Eyes. Doesn't really do too much. We'll play the Elite, but I think I just want to Sentinel's Eyes this guy for a little bit of extra damage. Currently, we already have a 2-turn clock, but just in case they have a Pulse of Marasa or something, this still gives us a 2-turn clock. I'll play the Elite just in case, although I guess if they find a way to kill this, maybe this shouldn't be on the field because it's easily removed, but I think more likely the way they survive is getting a Chrysalis down, although starting with a Wellspring is not a great way to do that, because they're not going to have the mana. Alright, and we win the match. Well, we lost to White Weenie and Tron. Tron definitely is just like a race. They had some pretty good starts. I believe they had natural or almost natural Tron, and then like a turn 4 win game 1, and then a pretty decent win the next time. So that's definitely one that we can win if we just have the right draw. But the issue with this versus Bogles is that Ethereal Armor is the only card that really pumps our team by more than just 1. Or rather, I guess the Trailblazer gets pumped by 2 by any of these other cards that give +1, the Sentinel's Eyes or the Cartouche or whatever. But getting a lot of damage quickly is actually kind of difficult. And then Deathblade Elite doesn't grow, nor does Wonderweave. With our auras, Deathblade, of course, was extremely powerful against Walls and Elves. It won us both of those matches. Wonderweave is interesting. The ward is really powerful, and the flying is a nice bonus, although obviously irrelevant once you pair it with Steel of the Godhead, but otherwise is pretty nice to fly over all those chump blockers. But just the 2 mana cost is pretty tough. Of course, this deck has often played a Crow and Cruise. Of course, this deck has often played a Crow and Skyguard, which is also 2 mana, but it also grows. So I don't know how good the Wonderweave Aerialist really is, but it's obviously interesting. People have been doing some interesting things with it, and I just love that Steel of the Godhead has a deck that it is playable in, I suppose. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my patrons and my Metafy subscribers, including my $10 supporters Howard Granger, Lars, JMW, Rafa Rodriguez, JDNPX, Ill Intent, Jason Golembuski, Groma, Halkaz, Ricardo Pasqualato, and Cody Cowell. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.